My mysterious looking kitchen here in London. How's life? How are you? What's happening? Are you well? Are you happy? Are you ready for the full moon, which is taking place tonight? It's a few hours away yet. It's the full moon in the sign of Cancer. Now, someone wrote to me earlier on today and said the full moon in the sign of Cancer, and they had some reason why they thought it couldn't be the full moon in the sign of Cancer, and I can't actually remember what it was, but I was like, what? Oh my God. And I had a little panic because, you know, I do make mistakes. And one thing about being an astrology writer is I am constantly writing months and months and months in advance, and half the time I don't even know what day of the week it is, let alone what month it is. And, you know, I might be writing like right now I'm probably writing the stars for, I don't know, March or April or May or something. Anyway, and then I thought, well, hang on a minute. No, look, I know it's January. I got there eventually. It's January. That means the sun is in the sign of Capricorn. And when you get the full moon, the sun and the moon are in opposite signs. So we've got the sun in Capricorn and we've got the moon right now in the sign of Cancer. And so when they get exactly opposite each other, that's when we get the full moon. So I did write back to her and sent her a screenshot actually of my computer software going, no, don't worry, it's fine. And please don't freak me out. I didn't say that actually. I just said, no, it's all good. It's the sun is in the sign of Capricorn. Therefore, the moon, when it gets to Cancer, will be a full moon. And indeed, it's not actually going to happen for a few hours. I was thinking it was tonight, sort of around 6 p.m. our time here in England, but it's actually not. It's actually like 10 to midnight here in England. I've got my diary. So let me tell you again, in case you missed it, I did actually just do a full moon ceremony, which was, for me, amazing. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely loved it. I just love doing all these ceremonies. I'm so glad that you guys turn up for them, make me feel like it's worthwhile doing them, you know. I mean, I would hope I would do them anyway, but it's so easy just to kind of like, you know, not do it when it's just for you. It's a bit like cooking, you know, cooking for one. Anyway, so the full moon in Cancer. So in London, it's taking place tonight at 11:48 p.m. In Sydney, it's taking place tomorrow, January the 18th. I don't think it's tomorrow yet in Sydney. Might be just the 18th. Anyway, it's the 18th at 10:48 a.m. In LA, it's taking place today at 3:48 p.m. And in New York, it's taking place today at 6:48 p.m. So they're the times around the world. Now, what we did today was really interesting in the full moon ceremony, and you know, you can find it if you go to my actually it's on the Hay House webpage. So if you go to Facebook and you go to the Hay House page and go to videos, it'll be there somewhere. And what we did, I just want to talk about a little bit about what we did, but I also want to give you something else to do, something fresh to do here. So what we did today on the Hay House page, which was quite special. Well, it was for me anyway, and people are saying here on Facebook that they enjoyed it too, which is great. What we did was I discussed the fact that, which I found really fascinating, is I've had this issue in my life of fear that keeps coming up for me about, you know, something, which I don't really want to talk about it publicly because I don't really even want to give voice to the fear. But it's a fear, and it's been coming up for me a lot, and it's kind of been on and off over the years, and then it's sort of been a bit louder lately. So the last 2 times we've done the full moon ceremony, at least, it may have been more, but at least the last 2 times we've done the full moon ceremony, I have consciously released it and let it go, and released it and let it go, and written it down and put it in the fire, and you know, I've been really letting it go. Now, what you have to remember is intention is everything. So I have had the intention of releasing this, but it just hasn't just gone by itself, you know. And I don't know if you understand or you agree with me, but you know, when you have a fear about something, it can make you a little bit irrational. And, you know, when you behave in an irrational fashion, then you end up possibly messing up a little bit more than you otherwise would. And so even though I've been trying to get rid of this fear, it hasn't really just gone away just through my sheer intention of letting it go. Obviously, more work is needed, and it's not surprising because, in fact, it's actually a fear, I think, that relates back to my own childhood. And, you know, as much as I've tried to release and move on, I haven't quite yet. And I know that because of for various reasons, again, that I won't go into. But I know there are things that I haven't quite forgiven or let go of. And it was interesting, actually, when I was doing the workshop today, because things get quite spooky around here. And in fact, it looks quite spooky on Facebook for those of you who can see the Facebook. But anyway, you know, someone said, actually, you know, sometimes what you need to do when you need to release something, it comes to you in a dream. Like, literally, I just saw the comment going past as I was chit-chatting away on the ritual. And I was like, oh my God, it's so true, because actually what happened was yesterday morning, I had a kind of a bad dream that happened, like something in it was said, okay? There were these two people in a dream, and someone said something to me or to someone else. And I was like, oh, and it was like a dagger in my heart, because it went straight to the heart of this thing I've been trying to let go and move on from. So that was 5:30 in the morning, and I asked Alexa what time it was, and Alexa said it was 5:30 a.m. And so I got out of bed, because I think 5:30 is just about okay to get out of bed. And I got out of bed and I came downstairs to actually where I am now, my computer, which I keep in the kitchen at the moment. And I started like diving into a rabbit hole of research connected to my fear. You know, when you do that, you get on there and you start, you know, looking and reading and finding out all this stuff. Anyway, the long and the short of it was that by about 9 p.m. at night, after I probably spent 10 hours on the computer yesterday looking all this up, but by about 9 p.m. at night, I had realized I just realized all this stuff, which was really important. It was like unlocking a door is the best way I can describe it. So imagine this fear was behind a locked door. That's why I hadn't really been able to release it yet. And by the end of the day, by the evening, I had the key to turn, to open the door, and I've realized where the fear comes from, why I haven't been able to get rid of it as yet, and what I need to do in order to release it. And the reason why I'm sharing all this is because I want you to understand something, and it's really important. So we talk a lot about moonology. That's my thing. Excuse me. Moonology is my thing. And, you know, we talk about full moon forgiveness and full moon release and so on, but sometimes what it's going to take to really release something is more than just forgiving someone, because I've forgiven the person who was involved in what was going on. I mean, I think I have. I've forgiven this person many, many times, and I've forgiven myself and so on and so forth. But I think there's still stuff that I need to process. There's still SHIT, and there's still stuff I need to like tap out or meditate on, or actually I'm going to be doing some CBT on it as well. I've just got a CBT app, and I'm going to be doing it actually with my family, and we've decided we're all going to do it as a family. So we're going to break the family, you know, break any patterns about it and so on and so forth. So really what I wanted to say was, you know, when you're releasing something, and every full moon is the ideal time to release stuff, and I'll tell you why in a second. But when you're releasing something, sometimes all you have to do is forgive, and that will break the karmic ties, okay? It will break the karmic ties. Forgiveness releases the karmic ties. However, sometimes you need to do more, you know. Sometimes things are so deep-seated that just forgiving someone isn't quite enough. Sorry, I'm just moving the camera around a bit here on Facebook. Sometimes sometimes it's not enough just to forgive and move on. Sometimes you actually need to do the work. So, you know, and what I found so interesting was that I know this on an intuitive level, I know that by my sincere intention to release this fear, and because this is the 3rd month in a row, I would have been saying, I'm releasing this, I'm releasing this, I'm releasing this, you know. What's happened is that I've gone a layer down and a layer down and a layer down. And now I hope I've reached the kernel, you know, and I'm not talking about a kernel. I'm talking about the KERNAL. I've reached the nut of it, of where this came from. And you know, it's now become apparent to me after my 10 hours on the internet yesterday of how to let it go and how to release it and how to, you know, as they say, let it out, let it go, let it all unravel, let it out, and it can be a path on which to travel. Okay, so that's what it's going to be. And I'm really grateful to the moon, and I'm really grateful to you guys for being there in my ceremonies, because you support me by being there, and I hope I support you. Someone on Facebook is saying, what's CBT? CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy. I can't even say it. Cognitive behavioral therapy. And it's basically a method of working through your stuff. And I first heard about it because my father was an amazing psychiatrist, and he practiced CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. And so once I said to Dad, what is CBT? Just explain it to me. What is it? And he said, basically, in a nutshell, and it's so funny because he was the least cosmic guy ever. And he said, Yasmin, it's basically what you believe to be true is true for you. Okay, so the first thing he would do when he used to do his practices was when he had a practice, he would, you know, if a new patient came in, he would ascertain what are their beliefs. Okay, what are their beliefs? Because once he knew their beliefs, he would be halfway to knowing, you know, why they were experiencing whatever they were experiencing. So if you haven't heard of CBT, look it up and have a listen. I'm also going to be doing tapping, which I think is amazing, and I'm also going to be doing meditation. I'll do it in rotation. I'm not going to do it all at once, and because I've enlisted my husband and son to join me in this, because I feel like when I'm healing this, I'm going to be healing it for myself, but also for them, you know, in all directions of time. I talked about this today at the fire ceremony, but, you know, we'll release it in all directions of time, including to my son and to his children, that he will have one day, please God, and to my husband and his line, and to my line, and all my all my ancestors. So, so that's that. So just be aware that when you start doing release work at full moon, it may not always be that you can just let it go. Maybe you need to do a little bit more work on it. So yeah, I'll be doing tapping, meditation, CBT, and I don't know what else. I'll just mix it all up. I'll mix it all up. All right, so there we go. So I just wanted to explain that. So if you're letting something go this full moon, be prepared for the universe to kind of help you. And, you know, in some ways, like what happened yesterday, it's like, oh my God, I thought I've released all this. But in fact, you know, what it is, it's actually helping me really release it, and also release it for the whole family. So there's that. So I did say just now as well, I would explain why the full moon is the time to do all this kind of stuff. And let me tell you, because in astrology, the full moon represents emotions, feelings, okay? Feelings. And so as the moon gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right, towards the full moon, which is, I said it was 6 hours, but it's still about, I think, 8 hours away, something like that. As the moon gets bigger and bigger and bigger over the course of 2 weeks, so do our emotions swell and swell and swell, which is why you'll often find that, you know, things go a little bit crazy at full moon, because everybody starts to go a little bit crazy. And of course, you know, as I say every month, we are not taught to process our emotions. No, you know, at school, nobody says, oh yes, every month, you know, you're going to start to get feeling more intense as the moon grows to fullness, and then you're going to go a bit crazy at full moon, and if you don't learn how to handle your emotions, you're probably going to be stuffing your emotions down with alcohol or drugs or food or whatever your poison is that you use to sort of stuff things down, because we all do it, unless we don't. And so what it is that the emotions really build up at the time of the full moon, every month, once a month. So once a month, we actually have this sort of freedom to access our feelings and process them and let them go. And so that's why we do it at the full moon, because the emotions are kind of bubbling up and they're more accessible, they're more on the surface, which is why we all go a little bit crazy, because we're not taught to process them. But if you're doing Moonology, which is my practice that I call Moonology, it's basically set your intentions at the new moon and do your release work at the full moon. You know, so all the emotions come up and we deal with them and we learn how to deal with them. And, you know, that's the thing. You can either, you can deal with your emotions. You can use the full moon in various ways. One is just to do the plain old forgiveness and release work. And if you've got my diary, which I know many of you have, do start this month. This is the first full moon of 2022. Remember, you've got the full moon forgiveness lists and you've got the journal prompts here that you can use to really tap into the energies. And these are actually written to sort of vibe, if that's not too much of a 1970s word, to vibe with this particular full moon. So this particular full moon is actually rather interesting because it's taking place, let me just find it on the, let me just find it on my computer. So it's taking place, God, I don't have it on my computer, so let me just find it in my book. I know there's a very healing vibe. Where are we? Healing vibe. Sorry guys, just give me a second. Oh, I can't find it because I know it's there. Oh, there we go. So there's a healing link between Mercury. Sorry, because I don't have Mercury and Chiron. I can't see it on my computer because I don't have Chiron showing, but let me just put Chiron on my computer. There we are, Chiron. Okie dokie. So let's have a look. So we have, there we are, that's it. So we have Mercury, the planet of communications, going backwards in the sign of Aquarius, okay? So it's retrograde, Mercury retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, which, by the way, is the sign of humanity. And it's going backwards and it's going to make another link to Chiron, which is the wounded healer. So it's a very, very healing full moon, and it certainly seems to have been that for me so far. I mean, I don't want to speak too soon. It's not going to be it's not going to perfect, as they say, until just before midnight tonight, but so far I feel like I've actually had a fair bit of healing this full moon, and hopefully you're feeling the same. Let me know in the comments on Facebook if you've been having any feelings of healing, the feeling of healing. So that's really special and something really, really worth tapping into. It's also a really good time to be healing anything to do with home and family. Why? Because the full moon is going to be taking place in the sign of Cancer, which is the sign of home and family. So if you need to heal something with a friend, that's great. But if you need to heal something with a family member, even more important, because now is the time to be doing healing to do with home and family. You know, it's a really, really important thing to do. So there we go. So that is basically what is going on. There is something else very, very big going on this week though, and I would like to address that as well. So something else that's happening this week is that we're going to have the lunar nodes changing signs, okay? The lunar nodes changing signs. Now, this does not happen very often, and when it happens, it's a big deal for a few reasons. I think I can get them all in the next 6 minutes before we go to the break, and then I'm going to take calls after the break. So if you're waiting on the line to speak to me, I will be speaking to you after the break. Let me just see if we've got anyone. Yes, we have people waiting. So, okay, so the lunar nodes are not, they're not a thing. They're not a thing. They're not a planet. They're not something you can touch. You know, they are basically where it's to do with the fact that it's where the moon, the orbit of the moon around the Earth connects with the orbit of the Earth around the sun. Okay, and that's just a very simple explanation of what it is, but that's basically what it is. And they change signs about every 18 months. And the thing that's so important about the lunar nodes is because it's actually, they sort of dictate, if you like, where the eclipses are going to be. So we have the North Node and the South Node. And if ever you get your chart done, you'll see you have a North Node and a South Node on your chart. And the South Node is said to represent your past, but even like past lives and kind of what you came into this life already knowing how to do, okay? So it can be, you know, where you're comfortable, really. And whereas the North, that's the South Node, whereas the North Node is where you need to go this lifetime in order to feel fulfilled and satisfied. Okay, so the South Node in your chart is where it's easy for you. It's like comfy old slippers that you can slip on. But we are all here on this planet to progress, I believe, to evolve. And so the North Node is kind of like the thing waving at you from your chart saying, this is what you need to do this lifetime in order to progress, for your soul to evolve, you know, on an evolutionary scale. And just note, by the way, they are always exactly opposite each other, because quite often I get people going, oh, my North and South Node are exactly opposite each other. What does that mean? They are always exactly opposite each other. So what's been happening is that for the past year and a half or so, they have been in the signs of Gemini and Sagittarius. We actually have, right now, they're still there. They haven't changed yet. We have the South Node in Sagittarius and the North Node in Gemini. So what that means is for the past year and a half, that we've had eclipses mainly in, Sagittarius and Gemini, okay? Because whenever there's a new or full moon, which takes place within 19 degrees of the lunar nodes, is when we get an eclipse. Now, because you can have an eclipse, it is possible to have an eclipse in the previous sign or the following sign, depending on where the nodes are. They aren't necessarily only in Gemini or Sag, but they mainly have been. And now what we're going to have is we're actually having them today. Is it today? It's not today. Let me just tell you when exactly. So when are they moving? They're moving, oh no, it's tomorrow. So tomorrow, the lunar nodes are shifting. And they are shifting from Gemini and Sag into the signs of Taurus and Scorpio, okay? So the North Node is going to be in Scorpio. Just look here. Yeah, so the North Node is going to be in Scorpio, and the South Node is the North Node is going to be in Taurus, and the South Node is going to be in Scorpio. So what that means is it means something different for everybody, but what it means in a very general sense is that it means that cue the eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio. Cue the eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio. In other words, over the coming 18 months, we're going to get the eclipses that we get are going to be in Taurus and Scorpio mainly. And in fact, in 2022, which is where we are now, I'm sure you know, they are all in the signs of Taurus and Scorpio. So after the break, I will let you know where that is for you, where Taurus and Scorpio are. And so what the eclipses this year are going to mean now that the nodes are changing signs tomorrow. So yeah, and then I'll be taking your calls. If you would like to call in the States, it's 816-251-3555, 816-251-3555. If you're on Facebook, the number is in the description. And I'll see you after the break.
All right, break time.
Thanks, Louis. He's a man of few words. Daily Mail. I'm going to read it. I've got all the information about the nodes from the article I wrote for the Daily Mail, I think. Where are you? Oh, maybe I took it out of I think it might be in my earlier version. It's probably in my version. Maybe it didn't make the final cut. Nodes, there we are. Nope. Oh, it's annoying. I don't have it written down, so I'm going to have to say it slowly but surely. That's all right. I can do that. Yeah, no, I don't seem to have it. All right, so I'll just have to do it manually, like hours. Hot mic. I know, that's fine. I'm not going to say anything untoward. I'm just talking to myself and you. So, Leslie Osman Miller, would you like a card, just for being so nice as to alert me to that, even though I knew about it anyway? I'm going to give you a card, Leslie. So, I'm going to give you 816-251-3555 is the number to call. 816-251-3555. And this is your card, Miss Leslie. All right. Oh, Leslie, I got a message from the universe for you. Are you ready? Can you see it? You probably can't see it. It says practice gratitude. So whatever's going on in your life, even if it's tricky right now, practice gratitude. There you are. It's for you, Leslie. You didn't ask for a card. I hope you don't mind. Oh, thank you. So Debbie Worley says, this is all new to me, first time here. Welcome. So to download your chart, go to, it's free, moonmessages.com/free chart. moonmessages.com/free chart. And you can get your chart there for free. And I've done it in such a way that it's really easy for people to understand. Brooke, card please. Well, that's pretty short, sharp, and to the point, Brooke, but I'll give you one anyway. Here we are. Brandy Gilbert, couldn't agree more. All right, here's your card, Brooke. I think it's Brooke. What did you get? Relax. Sorry, you can't see it. It's too dark in here. Anyway, your message, Brooke, is to relax. Oops, there's another card. Oh, wow. This is the one that came up today. So obviously I'm meant to share it again. I'll do it after the break. Denise, what does it mean if the nodes are moving back into the sign where they were when you were born? It means you're going to have your nodal return. Oh, thanks, Jody.
Find out what's happening happening in the
Embarrassing
skies.
mom dance.
Welcome back to Astrology with Yasmin.
Hi everybody, we are back after the break, and actually as I was shuffling the cards, a card jumped out. And it's really funny because I am 99.9% sure either this card came up yesterday in my workshop that I did online for Hay House, or it came up today in the full moon ceremony. I can't remember. But it's definitely been yesterday or today. And also, just to say, I'm looking at the messages on Facebook. Susan Schrock, it's definitely for you. People are saying in the comments, this card is for me. So whether you're listening on Unity or you're listening via Facebook, if this card is for you, either put it in the comments or say it out loud. This card is for me, and then this message is for you. Is this card for you? Susan Schrock, it's definitely for you with the question you just asked. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here is the card. I'm sorry you can't see it. I wonder if I can hold this phone up and make it easier. Yes, there we go. The card is the same card. I'm 99% sure we just got this in the full moon ceremony I just did. Or else we got it yesterday, or else we got it both times. Make time for self-love. Oops, make time for self-love. So this card is very interesting. It's amazing, actually. It's the last quarter moon in Libra card. And as I said, we got it, I'm 99% sure we got it earlier today. If you were watching the full moon ceremony, let me know. Was it today we got it? And if you didn't catch the full moon ceremony, but you'd like to see it, you can find it via, if you go to the Hay House page, you'll find it there. Way too dark, says Jennifer. Yes, it is rather dark. I don't have a light here, unfortunately. That is literally the light of my laptop screen. All right, so, okay, so are you ready? Here is the reading. And if you're here, it was this evening, says Anya. Yes, so if you're listening to this, this is for you, okay? Have you been trying to please all of the people all of the time when you're not quite happy yourself? Aha. There is a difference between wanting to live positively and spiritually bypassing when you refuse to acknowledge your feelings. I feel like this card's been coming up a lot lately because I remember somebody asking me the other day, what is spiritually bypassing? So it wasn't just today. It must have been earlier in the week as well. I'll explain spiritually bypassing in a minute. When you refuse to acknowledge your feelings, well, basically that's spiritually bypassing. When you refuse to acknowledge your feelings, when you kind of go, oh, I'm just going to be happy. Everything's great. Everything always works out perfectly for me. That's great to do all those affirmations, but you have to also deal with your stuff. Otherwise it just becomes, nothing. It becomes lip service. God, it's really, really spooky here. It's really dark on Facebook. You can't fool the universe, so pretending to be happy when you're sad will get you nowhere. Rather, you need to deal with your feelings. That's the only way. If you're people-pleasing, stop. Think about what's going on and why you're doing it. If you're involved in an unbalanced relationship, address the situation. So it's a really, really powerful message at the moment. They're I don't know if you can see them, my Moonology manifesting cards, for those of you who don't know them. It's my new deck. Someone there saying they found me via my first deck. This is my second deck, and I'm just working on my third deck, would you believe? I had a meeting about them this morning with the artist, which is very exciting. But yeah, so make time for self-love. That is what we need to do. If you want to call in, there are still a couple of lines free. The number to call it's the USA, 816-251-3555. Let us go to Janine. Janine, you are on the air. Janine on line 1. What do you need to talk about, Janine?
I would like to know what the stars have in store for me.
Okay. So where are you, Janine?
In Idaho, Pocatello, Idaho.
And is that you were born there? What time are you born?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know.
hospitals don't know either. It was that long ago.
Oh, right. Well, it wasn't that long ago.
I'll have to find some kinesiologist or muscle testing.
That's right.
to figure that out.
Yes, that's how we do it. All right, so you are definitely a Libran. Let's just see your chart, because if you were born, let's see, I'll tell you your moon sign. And you've got no clue whatsoever. You don't know if it was morning or night, for example.
I don't.
So are you emotionally soft and gentle, or are you someone who has a need for speed? Which are you? Do you need everything to be soft and gentle, or do you have a need for speed?
I'm pretty much in the middle. I think I'm pretty much a true Libra as far as...
That's such a Libran answer. Okay, but what do you need? Do you need soft and gentle? What nurtures you? Soft and gentle, or getting things done toot sweet straight away?
Probably soft and gentle when you put it like that.
Okay, all right. So you probably means then you have a Pisces moon, because it changed over at 6 p.m. the day you were born, or just after 6 p.m. Okay, so it looks like you're a Libran. I like your very Libran answer with your Pisces moon, and we don't know your rising sign because we don't know when you were born, but we know that you are a triple Scorpio regardless of the time that you were born, with Mercury, Neptune and Venus all in the sign of Scorpio. So in fact, although you are a Libran, you are in a way more of a Scorpio. And what's interesting is, as I was saying, now the nodes are changing signs tomorrow and they're moving into Scorpio and Taurus. So you're going to have the nodes going over your Mercury, Venus and Neptune, but not straight away. It's not actually going to happen for a while because it's hard to explain, but don't worry about it. It's not going to happen for a while. So let me see what I can tell. Without a birth time, it's tricky. Okay, at the moment, so what's going on for you financially and or romantically?
Nothing.
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 Would you like to have something going on financially or romantically?
Yes, both.
Okay, because basically what's happening, one thing that's happening right now, and again, this is not based on your time of birth, this is just based on your day of birth, but Venus is actually retrograding over your Saturn. Is there any person that you're interested in romantically that you kind of lost touch with that you could potentially get back in touch with?
No.
No one at all? Okay, so... all right, well, that's a shame because it would have been a really good time to do it. Okay, so... Sorry, what did you say?
I'll think about it. I'll see if there's someone from the past.
Yes, but you don't... If you have to think too hard about it, it's probably not right. It would be someone who, as soon as I said that, would come to mind and you would think, oh, yes... Gosh, now you come to mention it, I've been having that particular person on my mind. Look, you know what? I'm just going to read you a card, Janine, because I didn't know that you didn't have your time of birth. And it's really hard to explain. But when you don't have a time of birth, it's like trying to speak without a tongue. You know, you can still make noises, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. So let me just choose you a card, okay? So you just want life guidance right now, don't you?
Yes, I do.
All right, so let's see what you've got. All right, so interesting. All right, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's really, really hard without a time of birth. But the cards are always there. Sorry?
It's totally fine.
Oh, good, thank you. So... you actually have a lovely card here. You've got the last quarter moon in Taurus card, which says, be proud of yourself. All right, be proud of yourself. Are you proud of yourself?
I am.
Great.
But I could be more so.
More, you could be prouder of yourself. All right, let me just find the reading for you.
Okay.
All right, so, okay, I'm going to ask you some questions. Do you really believe in you?
No.
Oh, no one is perfect, but you need to believe in yourself and what you have to offer. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
You rang up today for life guidance, and this is your message from the universe. You need to believe in yourself and what you have to offer. Be proud of yourself, all right? I wish I could hold your hand right now. I'm energetically holding your hand. You came to this earth with a purpose to fulfill. Okay?
Yes.
Drawing this card suggests there are a lot of unresolved self-worth questions that need to be answered before you can create the life you know is waiting for you. Okay? Self-worth questions. Being real is the key here. Don't pretend for appearance's sake. You're more than allowed and encouraged to be your real self. In an age where people pretend to lead a perfect life, you know, like on Instagram, nothing is more impressive than true authenticity. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Instead, start to recognize your own talents and assets. So, would you be willing to work with crystals a bit in the coming month?
Yeah.
All right, so the crystals that you want, you just need at least one of them, okay? Labradorite, green fluorite, garnet, red jasper, honey calcite, or peach or yellow moonstone, okay? You just need one of them, and you can put it in your bra, or you can just hold it in your hand while you meditate, or you can put it in your purse. It doesn't matter, but just keep it around and have for the next month, I would like you to ask you to make your affirmation, I am a unique and beautiful soul, okay? Can I hear you say it?
I am a unique and beautiful soul.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. All right, so that is your message from the universe for this week, Janine, or for this month, or this time, okay?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are so welcome, and I want you to really remember that. And if you've got my cards, look it up and read it out again. And it's the Be Proud of Yourself last quarter moon in Taurus card, okay?
Yeah, I have the cards. I've got the diary.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well then I can give you last quarter moon in Taurus, so I can tell you which page it's on. It's on page 108, Sacred Hindu number. There you go. Gosh, I'm now completely in the dark. It's getting very dark here in England. Don't think I can do anything about that on Facebook. Anyway, thank you, Janine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to take a few more calls because now the board is full and I want to answer people's questions. Let me go to Betty Ann on line 2. Is that Betty Ann Romeo? Romano. Hello, Betty Ann. I think I just saw you on Facebook.
Yeah. Yes, I'm so happy to speak to you.
How are you today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty good actually. Can't complain. Mustn't grumble, as they say here in England. So I'm just doing your chart. What's news with you, Betty Ann? Tell us, where do you live? What do you do?
I live in Rhode Island on the East Coast. I am an energy healer.
Ah.
And I watch my 2 grandchildren twice a week.
Sorry, you watch them? You babysit, do you?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. How old are they?
4 and 2.
Oh, how sweet. Oh, well, lucky grandma getting to spend lots of time with her grandchildren.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, so you are a Leo with Virgo rising and a Capricorn moon. You're actually very Virgo. So even though you're a Leo, you've actually got 3 planets and your ascendant all in the sign of Virgo. So you're far more Virgo than you are Leo. So what would you like to know today? Tell us a bit about what's going on and what you want to know about.
So I would love to know about my romantic life and my career.
Okay. So what's going on in your romantic life? Is there anything?
Nope. I just started online dating like 2 months ago.
Right. Well, it's very interesting, actually, that you should ask, Betty Ann, because when I first started to learn astrology, I spoke to an astrologer. Oh God, what's his name? Can't remember his name. It's awful. I know. Lynn Birkbeck. And he's an English astrologer. And he told me when Jupiter moves into your 7th house, that's when you're most likely to get married. And it only does that every 12 years. And it had just done that and I hadn't got married. So I had to wait another 12 years to see if what he said was right. And as it turned out, it was, because I got married when Jupiter was in my 7th house. Now, you need to get out there and do lots and lots and lots of dating in Rhode Island, because guess what? You have Jupiter in your 7th house. It's just moved in there and it's going to stay in there until May. And then it's going to, so you need to really get out there and get dating.
Okay, I can do that.
Excellent. And don't be too picky. Okay, because you do have a lot of Virgo in you. And you need to find someone, look for someone who's going to be, who's going to treat you like a queen. And someone who, actually a healer would be great for you, or a musician. And someone who's quite balanced.
Okay, that's very, very encouraging. Thank you.
So as for your career, what's going on in your career? What do you do?
So I deal with the subtle energy system in the body, like the chakra system.
Oh, wow.
And I get to the root cause of physical issues, because there's always an emotional reason why that's happening. But I've been seeing clients basically like by word of mouth. And the last couple of months I've been trying to put a website together, and I'm just struggling with it.
Why are you struggling? What's the problem?
Because just building the website is an obstacle, the pages and the technology of it, but just the content of what I want to put on it, I'm getting stuck on.
And plus you're a Virgo, so you're not a Virgo, but you're a quadruple Virgo, even though you're a Leo. And you're going to second guess everything and keep editing it and so on. Honestly, Betty Ann, my advice to you is to do a few healings and set aside, $250 or $400. Go to upwork.com and get someone to do it for you. Just tell them the fonts you want, draw it up, find someone who's going to do it for you. Don't try and do it yourself. It's too hard.
Okay, that makes me feel better, because that's what I've been feeling.
Yeah, don't let that stand in your way. You can find someone on Upwork, if you just say, you know what, I really like, Open Sans font, or I really like Playfair, or I really, choose 2 fonts that you like. One is for headlines, one is for body text. Choose a few photos you like and just ask them to show you some templates and just get it done and get it up and running. You've actually got Saturn, the planet of hard work, in your 6th house right now and for a while to come yet. And that it's actually good, because it actually means you can plod slowly towards your goals. So life might feel like it's dragging a bit at the moment, but in fact what you've got is quite a strong sense of stability and security that you can access. So you need to just go one step at a time, and just honestly just take my advice. Even if you just have you know, 3 pages on your site, you know, the landing page, a page which is all about you, and a bookings page, you know, and ask them to put in a blog page that you can add to. You can buy a template for a website these days for, you know, $20 or $50, and just get it up there and don't worry about it. Don't make that the stumbling block.
Okay, but this is like the right path for me because I feel like it is.
What, working as a healer?
Yes.
Well, honestly, if you ask me what's the best thing for me to be doing, I would have said healing is good, but you know what would be really good would be something where you're writing stuff or talking. You've got Gemini on your career line with Mars right next to it. So, you know, you really need to be out there communicating as much as healing.
Okay, that's good. I like that. All right, thank you.
It might be that you need to get online and, you know, communicate online and spread the message online, because you've got, maybe you need to write some ebooks and stuff and put them on your website and make some cash that way. Maybe write books about the chakras or about the subtle healing systems and so on.
Yeah, that's really great. I like that.
I would love to see what you wrote. Have you written anything about the chakras and the subtle energies? Because I'm very interested in chakras and energies. Do you use the 3D or the 5D chakras?
I do 7.
Do the 7. I've got a card for you, Betty Ann. Oh, okay. I don't know what this means to you. Only you can tell me. You got the Leave the Past Behind card. So you need to leave the past behind so you can move forward.
Yeah. Yeah, it keeps tugging on me, but I keep trying to break away.
Yeah, well, you do that. And also just note that Saturn is actually going to oppose your Sun in the next few months, your SUN Sun. So that can be quite challenging. But it's also a time for you to sort of find your feet and get really steady on whatever it is that you're doing. You've actually just been through your second Saturn return as well, so it's all happening. You've got a lot going on. I would say slow and steady wins the race right now.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
Nice to speak to you, Betty Ann. I see you on Facebook all the time. You've got such a great name.
Thank you. Yeah, I sent you an email a couple months ago with you know, about a personal thing in the subtle energy system. I kind of touched on it.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope I replied. I get so many emails, I can't always reply to everything. It's just impossible.
No, you did. It was great.
Oh, good. Yay.
Writing and communicating.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for calling in.
Have a good day.
You too. Okie dokie. So we don't actually have much time left. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is I'm going to do a card for everybody who is still waiting on the line. So Brandy, Maria, Cynthia, Joy, Margie, Debbie, and Alicia. I'm going to do a card for you guys. Hope you can hear me. Brandy, Maria, Cynthia, Joy, Margie, Debbie, and Alicia. All right. Oh, wow. I mean, you can't see me on Facebook because it's so dark now, because it's gone dark while I've been doing this. But actually, you all just got the same card as Betty, strangely enough. Leave the past behind. So let's just say this is a really big message for all of us. And it makes sense that it would be this message today because it's full moon day. And, you know, full moon is all about turning the corner. So whatever you're doing in your life, whatever you're doing today, do some release work, okay? And say, I am leaving the past behind. I am leaving the past behind. And if you haven't found me on Facebook already, come and find me. And then, well, actually, you don't even need to find me. Just get on Facebook or Instagram. Instagram, Planet Yasmin Boland, or Facebook, and go onto the Hey House page on that. And have a look at my full moon ceremony that I did today, because it was a really good one. I don't know why. I just really felt it today. I mean, I usually feel it, but I mean, they're always good, you know, for me energetically. But it was quite powerful. And it really is a reminder to us all that the full moon is like a gift that I was going to say the universe, I suppose it is the universe, gives us, the moon gives us once a month. Okay, so it's when the sun and the moon are on opposite sides of the zodiac. And you've got basically ego and feeling separated. So you'll find, if you go to Hay House, look on their videos. And I just want to quickly say as well, just give a quick mention. If you find me on Facebook as well, or you find my site, yasminboland.com, I'm about to do another Moonology Manifesting Challenge in about 2 weeks from now. So I'd love you to join me on that. And that is moonmessages.com/MMC. MMC for Moonology Manifesting Challenge. All right, so thank you for tuning in, and I'll be back next week.
Great job, Yasmin.
Thank you, Louie. Have a great week.
All right, talk to you next time.
Bye. Oh, there he goes. Right, well, there we go. Guys, sorry you can't see me, or maybe that's a good thing. Someone's saying they did Tracy Wall. Thanks, Tracy. I did it last year. The Moonology Manifesting Challenge did it last year. Yeah, I've put the link in the description, but it's moonmessages.com/MMC. Alicia, was that you on hold? I would have answered you. I didn't realise until the last minute that it was you. Debbie Pierce, you are watching. Debbie, have a look. I think you've blocked me from answering, from sending you replies. Have a look and see if you've blocked me, because whenever you comment on something, I can't reply to you. And I saw today that somebody else did. And I don't think they know you. So I think you've just accidentally, I hope, blocked me. J.R. Cohn, you're leaving the past behind. That's great. What else do we have? Anyone else got anything to say before we finish? Oh, yes. Let's have a look. All right. Well, Debbie, just Google it. Unblocking someone on Facebook or unblocking replies on Facebook, something like that. Because only because I'd like to be able to reply. Alicia, try again next week. I'll try and spot you before I choose anyone else. All right. Oh, the link again, Laura, is for the Moonology Manifesting Challenge. It's free. www.moonmessages.com/MMC for Moonology Manifesting Challenge. All right, lots of love, guys. Sorry I'm all dark. I'll remember the light next week. Lots and lots of love.